Luna stood frozen, staring at the eviction notice. 30 days to leave. She was drowning in debt, working double shifts at the firm, and her savings had vanished after her mother's medical bills. But at her lowest point, her cold, untouchable CEO, Adam, called her into his office and made an insane offer. "Marry me for 1 year. I'll erase all your debt." A contract marriage. A man who didn't believe in emotion. A woman on the edge of collapse. Would this deal save Luna or destroy her completely? Luna hadn't slept in 3 days. She sat at the tiny kitchen table in her cramped apartment, surrounded by bills she couldn't pay. Medical debt from when her mother was in the hospital. Rent overdue by 2 months. Credit card statements with numbers so high they didn't feel real anymore. Her mother had passed away 6 months ago, and the hospital bills alone had buried her. She'd tried everything. Loans, extra shifts, borrowed money from friends who stopped answering her calls. Now, the eviction notice sat in front of her like a death sentence. 30 days. She stared at it until the words blurred together. She'd been working at Sterling Enterprises for 3 years, climbing her way up from an entry-level position to a junior strategist. The pay was decent, but it wasn't enough. It was never enough. Her phone buzzed, a message from her boss, Adam Sterling. "Come to my office tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock sharp." Luna stared at the text. Adam Sterling didn't send messages like this unless something was wrong. He was the CEO of the company, a man so sharp and cold that people in the office whispered about him like he was carved from stone. Luna had worked under him for 3 years and had maybe spoken to him directly 5 times. She typed back a quick reply, "I'll be there." Then she went to bed, knowing she wouldn't sleep. The next morning, Luna stood outside Adam's office on the top floor. The hallway was silent except for the hum of the air conditioning. Through the glass walls, she could see him sitting at his desk, perfectly composed. He wore a tailored black suit. His dark hair was neat, not a strand out of place. He didn't look up. Luna knocked. Adam's voice came through, clipped and precise. "Come in." Luna stepped inside. The office was massive, all clean lines and minimalism. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Adam gestured to the chair across from his desk. "Sit," he said. Luna did. Adam set down the pen he'd been holding and looked at her. His eyes were sharp, unreadable. He didn't waste time. "I know everything about you, Luna," he said. Luna blinked. "I'm sorry?" Adam slid a folder across the desk. Luna opened it. Inside were copies of her bills, her bank statements, her eviction notice, medical records from when her mother died, even a report on her work performance and background. Her stomach dropped. "How did you get all this?" she asked, her voice tight. Adam leaned back in his chair, studying her like she was a piece of data. "I had you investigated." Luna's hands tightened on the folder. "Why?" Adam's tone was businesslike, detached. "Because I need something from you, and you need something from me." Luna didn't know what to say. Her thoughts were spinning. This didn't make sense. Adam continued, his expression unchanged. "I'm 34 years old. I built this company with my father, but he's given me an ultimatum. If I don't remarry within 6 months, he'll hand control of the company to my brother Derek. He believes a man raising a child alone isn't stable enough to lead." Luna stared at him. "You're telling me this because—" Adam's gaze didn't waver. "Because I'm offering you a deal." He opened a drawer and pulled out a contract. It was thick, bound in leather. He placed it in front of her. "I need a wife for 1 year," Adam said. "You need financial stability. This is a transaction. Nothing more." Luna looked down at the contract. The words blurred in front of her. Adam kept talking. "The terms are simple. You move into my penthouse. We live together. We attend public events as a married couple. You follow my instructions on how to behave in social settings. In exchange, I will pay off every cent of your debt. All of it. Medical bills, rent, everything." Luna's throat was dry. "And after a year?" Adam's voice was flat. "We divorce, quietly. You walk away with $200,000 and a clean slate." Luna felt like the room was spinning. "You want me to sell myself?" she asked, her voice sharper than she intended. Adam's gaze didn't waver. "I want you to make a smart decision. You're out of options, Luna. In 30 days, you'll be homeless. This is your way out." Luna looked down at the contract again. Her hands were shaking. "Why me?" she asked. Adam tilted his head slightly. "Because you're competent. You're intelligent. You're not from my social circle. No one will suspect this is anything other than what I tell them it is. A private relationship that became serious. You're professional. Reliable. Perfect for what I need." The words were cold, clinical. Luna couldn't argue. She was drowning. Adam stood and walked to the window, his back to her. "I don't believe in love, Luna. I believe in control. This arrangement gives me what I need. If it gives you what you need as well, then we both win." Luna stared at the contract. The pages were filled with clauses, conditions, legal terms she didn't fully understand. But one thing was clear. If she signed this, her life would change. She thought of the eviction notice, the debt collectors who called every day, the exhaustion of working double shifts and still falling short. She thought of Adam's cold, emotionless eyes, about the life he was offering her, a life that felt like selling her soul. But then she thought about losing everything, thought about the street, thought about having nothing left. The choice wasn't really a choice at all. "What if I say no?" Luna asked. Adam turned to face her. "Then you leave, and we never speak of this again." He walked back to his desk and sat down, picking up his pen like the conversation was already over. Luna's heart was pounding. She looked at the contract one more time. Then she looked at Adam. "I need to think about it," she said. Adam nodded. "You have until tomorrow morning. After that, the offer expires." Luna stood, her legs unsteady. She walked to the door, the folder still in her hands. As she reached for the handle, Adam spoke again. "One more thing," he said. Luna turned. His expression was unreadable. "If you sign, you follow my rules. All of them. No exceptions. No emotions. No complications. Do you understand?" Luna nodded. She didn't trust herself to speak. She left the office and didn't look back. That night, Luna sat on the floor of her apartment, staring at the eviction notice. She thought about what Adam had said. "You're out of options." He was right. She thought about the debt collectors, about the feeling of drowning, about the fact that she had no other choice. The next morning, Luna walked back into Adam's office. She didn't say anything. She just picked up the pen and signed the contract. Adam watched her, his expression unchanged. When she was done, he took the contract and filed it away. "Pack your things," he said. "You move in tonight." Luna nodded. Her hands were still shaking. "One more thing," Adam added. He handed her a sleek black credit card. "Use this for anything you need. Clothes, transportation, whatever. You'll need to look the part." Luna took the card. It felt heavy in her hand. As she turned to leave, Adam spoke one last time. "Welcome to your new life, Luna." Luna walked out of the office, knowing there was no going back. The penthouse was nothing like Luna had imagined. It was cold, not in temperature, but in feeling. Everything was white or gray or black. Sharp edges, clean surfaces, no photographs, no clutter. It looked like a showroom, not a home. Adam stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, arms crossed, watching the city below. He didn't turn when Luna stepped inside with her single suitcase. "Your room is down the hall," he said. "Second door on the left. Don't touch anything in my office. Don't go into my bedroom. and don't expect me to be here often. I work late." Luna nodded, though he wasn't looking at her. Then he added, his voice flat. "My daughter Emily stays with my sister during the week. She's 6. You won't need to interact with her much." Luna carried her suitcase to the room he'd indicated. It was larger than her entire apartment had been. The bed was massive, the sheets crisp and white. There was a closet big enough to live in, a bathroom with marble counters. Luna sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall. She hadn't expected Adam to have a child. That detail made everything feel more complicated, more real. The first week was awkward. Adam left before sunrise and came home after midnight. They barely spoke. Luna spent her days at work, pretending everything was normal, and her evenings wandering the penthouse like a ghost. She tried to settle in, but everything felt wrong. The silence was oppressive. The space was too big. She felt like an intruder. On the 8th day, Adam came home earlier than usual. It was only 10 o'clock. Luna was in the kitchen, making herself a sandwich, when he walked in. He looked exhausted. His suit jacket was draped over his arm, his tie loosened. He set his briefcase on the counter and glanced at her. "You cook?" he asked. Luna shrugged. "Not really, just sandwiches." Adam looked at the ingredients on the counter. Bread, cheese, turkey slices. He didn't say anything for a moment, then opened the refrigerator and pulled out a bottle of water. "There's soup in the cabinet," Luna said. "If you're hungry." Adam turned to her, his expression unreadable. "I didn't ask you to cook for me." Luna kept her voice steady. "I know, but you look like you haven't eaten all day." Adam stared at her, then looked away. "I'm fine." But he didn't move. He stood there, holding the water bottle, looking at the counter like he didn't know what to do with himself. Luna opened the cabinet and took out a can of soup. She heated it on the stove without asking. When it was ready, she poured it into a bowl and set it on the table. "Sit," she said. Adam looked at her, then at the bowl. He didn't argue. He sat down and ate in silence. Luna didn't say anything. She just finished making her sandwich and sat across from him. When he was done, Adam set the spoon down and looked at her. "Thank you," he said quietly. It was the first time he'd said those words to her. Luna nodded. "You're welcome." They sat there in the silence, two strangers bound by a contract, pretending to be something they weren't. 2 weeks later, Adam called Luna into the living room. He was holding a tablet, scrolling through something. Luna had just come home from work, still in her office clothes. Adam didn't look up when she entered. "We have our first public event this weekend," he said. "A charity gala. We'll need to attend together." Luna felt her stomach tighten. "What do I need to do?" Adam handed her the tablet. On the screen was a list of instructions: how to dress, how to stand, what to say, what not to say, how to behave around his family. Luna scrolled through it, her throat going dry. "Memorize this," Adam said. "You'll be playing the role of my wife. That means you hold my hand. You smile. You make small talk. You make people believe this is real." Luna looked at the list. It felt like studying for a test she didn't want to take. "Can you do that?" Adam asked, his tone flat. Luna met his eyes. "I don't have a choice, do I?" Adam's expression didn't change. "No, you don't." Luna set the tablet down and walked to her room without another word. She spent the next 2 days memorizing every detail on that list, feeling like she was preparing for a performance she never auditioned for. The gala was held in a hotel ballroom that looked like it cost more than Luna's entire life. Chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Everyone was dressed in suits and gowns that probably cost thousands of dollars. Luna felt like an imposter in the dark green dress Adam had arranged for her. It was elegant, fitted, expensive. She'd never worn anything like it. Adam stood beside her, his hand resting lightly on her lower back. He looked perfect. His suit was tailored, his expression calm. He smiled at people as they approached, introduced Luna as his wife, laughed at their jokes. Luna played her part. She smiled. She made small talk. She said the things Adam had told her to say, but she could feel the eyes on her, the whispers. People were curious. Who was this woman? Where did she come from? Why would someone like Adam Sterling marry someone like her? At one point, a man approached them. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with the same sharp features as Adam. His smile didn't reach his eyes. He looked at Luna first, his gaze assessing, then turned to Adam. "Adam," he said smoothly, "introduce me to your wife." Adam's hand tightened slightly on Luna's back. "Derek, this is Luna. Luna, this is my brother." Derek extended his hand. Luna shook it. Derek's grip was firm, almost aggressive. "So you're the one," Derek said, his tone casual but laced with something else. "I have to admit, I was surprised when I heard the news. Adam's never been the romantic type." Luna forced a smile. "People change." Derek's eyes narrowed slightly. "Do they?" Adam stepped in, his voice calm but firm. "We should get back to the guests. Excuse us, Derek." He pulled Luna away before Derek could respond. When they were far enough away, Luna glanced at Adam. "He doesn't believe us," she said quietly. Adam's jaw was tight. "He doesn't need to. He just needs to stay out of our way." But Luna could see it in his eyes. Derek was a problem. That night, back at the penthouse, Luna found Adam standing on the balcony. He was still in his suit, his tie loosened. The city lights stretched out below him. Luna stepped outside. The air was cool. "You okay?" she asked. Adam didn't turn. "Derek's going to dig. He's going to try to find something to prove this isn't real." Luna leaned against the railing. "What happens if he does?" Adam's voice was quiet. "Then I lose everything." For the first time, Luna saw something in him that wasn't cold or controlled. He looked tense, worried. She didn't know what to say. So she just stood there beside him, the silence stretching between them. After a long moment, Adam spoke again. "Why did you really sign the contract, Luna?" Luna looked at him. "You know why. I didn't have a choice." Adam shook his head. "Everyone has a choice. You could have walked away, found another way, but you didn't." Luna thought about the eviction notice, about the debt collectors, about the feeling of drowning. "I signed because I was scared," she said. "Scared of losing everything. Scared of ending up on the street." Adam turned to her. His eyes were softer now, less guarded. "I signed because I was scared too," he said. "Scared of losing the company. Scared of proving my father right. That I'm not capable of leading without someone beside me." It was the first time he'd admitted anything real to her. They stood there in the silence, two strangers bound by fear, pretending to be something they weren't. Over the next few weeks, something shifted. Adam started coming home earlier. He'd find Luna in the kitchen, and instead of retreating to his office, he'd sit at the counter and watch her cook. Sometimes he'd ask about her day. Sometimes he'd tell her about his. The conversations were short, careful, but they were real. One night, Luna made pasta. It was simple, nothing fancy, but Adam ate every bite. When he was done, he looked at her, and something in his expression had softened. "This is good," he said. Luna shrugged. "It's just pasta." Adam set his fork down. "No," he said. "It's more than that." He didn't explain what he meant, but Luna thought she understood. But things weren't getting easier. Derek was circling. He'd been asking questions, digging into Luna's background, trying to find cracks in their story. At a family dinner the following week, he'd cornered Luna in the hallway while Adam was speaking with his father. "You think you're clever?" Derek had said, his voice low and venomous. "You think you can just walk into this family and take what's mine?" Luna had kept her voice steady. "I'm not taking anything. I'm just here." Derek had leaned in close. "You're nobody, Luna. A poor, desperate nobody. And when this falls apart, and it will, you'll go back to being exactly what you are. Nothing." The words had stung because part of Luna believed them. She'd walked back to the dining room, her hands shaking, and sat down beside Adam like nothing had happened. But Adam had noticed. He'd glanced at her, his brow furrowing slightly, but he didn't ask. Not then. One evening, Luna came home to find Adam on the couch, his laptop open, his face pale. He looked up when she walked in. Luna set her bag down. "What's wrong?" she asked. Adam turned the laptop toward her. On the screen was an email from Derek. Attached was a document, evidence of Luna's financial history, her debts, her eviction notice, everything. "He's going to use this," Adam said. "He's going to show it to the board, to my father. He's going to prove this is fake." Luna's stomach dropped. "What do we do?" Adam closed the laptop. "We can't let him win." But Luna could see the fear in his eyes, the same fear she felt. 2 days later, Adam's father invited them to dinner at the family estate. It was a trap, and they both knew it, but they couldn't refuse. The house was massive, cold, intimidating. Derek was already there when they arrived, sitting near the head of the table with a smug smile. Adam's father sat at the head, his expression unreadable. His mother was beside him, watching everything with quiet intensity. Dinner was tense. Derek made pointed comments, testing them, watching for cracks. Adam handled it with grace, but Luna could see the strain on his face. She played her part, answering questions carefully, keeping her composure. But she could feel Derek's eyes on her, waiting for her to slip. After dinner, Adam's mother suggested they take a walk through the garden. Adam and Luna followed her outside, but Derek stayed behind. The garden was beautiful, meticulously maintained, but Luna couldn't enjoy it. Her nerves were frayed. When they returned to the house, Adam needed to grab something from his childhood bedroom. Luna followed him upstairs. The room was pristine, untouched, like a museum. Adam was searching through a drawer when Luna noticed something odd. A small camera hidden in the corner of the bookshelf. Her blood ran cold. "Adam," she said quietly. He turned. She pointed to the camera. His eyes went wide. "Derek," he said, his voice tight. Luna's thoughts were racing. If Derek was watching, if he saw them acting distant or cold, he'd have the proof he needed. Without thinking, Adam moved. He crossed the room, pulled Luna into his arms, and kissed her. For a split second, Luna froze. Then she kissed him back. It wasn't part of the plan. It wasn't fake. It was real. When they finally pulled apart, Adam reached up and switched off the light, plunging the room into darkness. The camera wouldn't see anything now. They stood there in the dark, breathing hard, neither of them speaking. Luna's voice was barely a whisper. "Adam." But he didn't let her finish. He pulled her close again, his forehead resting against hers. "I know," he said. And he did. Because somewhere along the way, this had stopped being an arrangement. It had become something else. That night, back at the penthouse, neither of them spoke about what had happened. Adam went to his room. Luna went to hers. But she couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about the kiss, about the way Adam had looked at her afterward, about the way her heart had raced. She was in love with him. The realization hit her like a punch to the gut. She was in love with a man who'd hired her to play a role, a man who didn't believe in love. The next morning, Adam was different. He came out of his room earlier than usual, but he didn't look at her. He made coffee, his movements stiff and mechanical. Luna watched him from the doorway. "We need to talk about last night," she said. Adam shook his head. There's nothing to talk about. We did what we had to do, that's all. But his voice wavered. Luna stepped closer. Adam, He held up a hand. Don't. Please. His eyes were pleading, vulnerable in a way she'd never seen. Luna backed off, but she knew the truth. He felt it too. He was just too scared to admit it. A week later, Derek made his move. He called an emergency meeting of the board of directors. Adam received the notification late at night. His hands were steady as he read the email, but Luna could see the tension in his shoulders. He's going to do it, Adam said. He's going to show them the contract. Luna sat beside him on the couch. Then we tell them the truth. Adam looked at her. What truth? That we started as a lie? Luna took his hand. That we started as a lie, but it's not a lie anymore. Adam's eyes searched hers. Luna, I can't. Yes, you can, Luna said. We both can. But Adam pulled his hand away. You don't understand. If I lose this, I lose everything. Luna stood. Then we fight. Together. Adam looked at her, his walls crumbling. But before he could respond, his phone rang. It was Derek. Adam answered, his voice cold. What do you want? Derek's voice came through, smug and victorious. See you at the meeting, little brother. Bring your wife. This should be fun. The line went dead. Adam looked at Luna, fear and determination warring in his eyes. This is it, he said. Luna nodded. Then let's end this. The boardroom was cold and sterile, filled with men and women in expensive suits who looked at Luna like she didn't belong. Adam sat beside her, his face carefully blank, but she could feel the tension radiating from him. Derek stood at the head of the table, a stack of documents in front of him. He looked like a man who'd already won. Adam's father sat at the opposite end, his expression unreadable. His mother was beside him, watching everything with quiet intensity. Derek began without preamble. Thank you all for coming on such short notice. I've called this meeting because I have evidence that my brother has been deceiving this family and this company. He slid the documents across the table. The board members picked them up, flipping through the pages. Luna could see copies of the contract, her financial records, everything. Adam's jaw tightened, but he didn't speak. Derek continued, his voice dripping with false sympathy. Adam hired Luna Bennett to pose as his wife. It's all here. A contract marriage, a transaction. He's been lying to all of us to secure his position. Murmurs rippled through the room. The board members exchanged glances. Luna felt her stomach twist. Derek turned to Adam, his smile sharp. Do you deny it? Adam stood slowly. His voice was steady, but Luna could hear the strain beneath it. No, I don't deny it. The room erupted. Voices overlapped, shocked and angry. Derek's smile widened, but Adam wasn't finished. He raised his hand, and the room fell quiet. We did start with a contract, Adam said. Luna needed help. I needed a solution to a problem. It was a business arrangement. Nothing more. Derek leaned forward. So you admit you lied. You admit you manipulated this family to keep control of the company. Adam's eyes were cold. I admit that I made a choice to protect what I built, a choice to survive in a family that values appearances over people. His father's expression didn't change, but his mother was watching Adam carefully. Adam turned to the board. Yes, it started as a contract, but if you're here to judge me for that, then you're missing the point. This company doesn't care about love or marriage. It cares about results. And I've delivered results. I've grown this company by 35% in the last 2 years. I've secured contracts that no one else could. I've earned my place here. Derek slammed his hand on the table. This isn't about results. This is about integrity. You lied to everyone in this room. Luna couldn't stay silent anymore. She stood. He didn't lie, she said. Every head in the room turned to her. Derek's eyes narrowed. Luna's voice was steady, though her heart was racing. Adam told you the truth. We started with a contract. But what he didn't tell you is that it's not a contract anymore. Adam looked at her, his eyes going wide. Luna continued, her gaze locked on his. I signed that contract because I was desperate. I was broke, about to lose everything, and he offered me a way out. I didn't know him. I didn't care about him. I just wanted to survive. She turned to face the board. But then I lived with him. I saw who he really is, not the CEO, not the cold, untouchable man everyone thinks he is. I saw someone who works himself to exhaustion because he cares about this company. Someone who's spent his entire life proving he's good enough. Someone who's scared of being vulnerable. Luna's voice softened. Somewhere along the way, it stopped being an arrangement. I stopped pretending, and I think he did too. She turned back to Adam, her eyes searching his. I love you. I don't care about the contract. I don't care about the money. I love you because you're the most dedicated, most stubborn, most brilliant person I've ever met. And if that makes me a fool, then I'm a fool. No one spoke. Adam stared at her, something breaking in his expression. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Derek's voice cut through the moment. This is pathetic. You expect us to believe this? That a broke, desperate woman suddenly fell in love with one of the richest men in the country? This is just another lie. Before anyone could respond, the door to the boardroom opened. Adam's mother stood. She walked to the center of the room, her presence commanding immediate attention. That's enough, Derek, she said. Derek frowned. Mother, you can't. Adam's mother held up a hand. I said enough. She turned to the board. I've been listening to this discussion with great interest, and I think it's time I clarified a few things. Adam's father leaned back in his chair, his expression unreadable. Adam's mother continued. I knew about the contract from the beginning. The room exploded again. Derek's face went pale. You what? He said. Adam's mother didn't flinch. Adam came to me before he made the arrangement. He told me everything, and I approved it. Adam's eyes went wide. You knew? His mother nodded. I did, and I'll tell you why. Adam, you've spent your entire life thinking that strength means shutting people out, that love is a weakness, that you have to do everything alone. I wanted to teach you that you were wrong. She looked at Luna. I wanted to see if you could find someone who would see past the walls you built, someone who would care about you, not your money or your power. And I wanted to see if you could let someone in. Adam's voice was barely a whisper. Why didn't you tell me? His mother smiled sadly. Because you needed to figure it out on your own. She turned to Derek. As for you, Derek, you've spent years trying to undermine your brother. You've manipulated, schemed, and lied to get what you want. You think this company should be yours because you're the oldest. But you've never earned it. You've never had to. Derek's face was red. This is ridiculous. You can't. Adam's mother's voice turned cold. I can, and I will. As of today, you are removed from the board of directors. Your shares will be transferred to Adam, and you will have no further involvement in this company. Derek stood, his chair scraping loudly. You can't do this. Adam's father finally spoke, his voice calm but firm. She can, and I support her decision. Derek looked around the room, but no one met his eyes. He grabbed his briefcase and stormed out, the door slamming behind him. Silence filled the space. Adam's mother turned to her son. Adam, I've watched you build this company from the ground up. You've proven yourself 1,000 times over. You don't need my approval anymore. You don't need anyone's approval. But you do need to stop being afraid of letting people in. She glanced at Luna. This woman loves you. And unless I'm very much mistaken, you love her too." Adam looked at Luna. His walls were gone. His mask had shattered. He was just a man standing in front of a woman, terrified and vulnerable and real. "I do," Adam whispered. "I love her." Luna crossed the room in 3 steps, and Adam pulled her into his arms. She buried her face in his chest, her shoulders shaking. The board members looked at each other, then began to stand, quietly filing out of the room. Adam's parents were the last to leave. His mother squeezed Adam's shoulder as she passed. When the door closed, it was just the 2 of them. Luna pulled back, wiping her eyes. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I could control this. I thought I could keep it separate. But I couldn't. I fell in love with you, and it terrified me." Adam cupped her face in his hands. "You don't have to be scared anymore." Luna laughed through her tears. "I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to trust this." Adam smiled. "Then we'll figure it out together." He kissed her, and this time, there was no camera, no audience, no reason to pretend. It was just them. 6 months later, Adam stood in the kitchen of the penthouse making pancakes. Luna sat at the counter, wearing one of his old shirts, her hair in a messy bun. She watched him with a smile. "You're going to burn those," she said. Adam laughed. "I've got it under control." Later that day, they had a small ceremony. Just family and a few close friends. No cameras, no press, no performance. Luna wore a simple white dress. Adam wore a suit that fit him perfectly. When the officiant asked if they took each other as husband and wife, they both said yes without hesitation. This time, it was real. Emily came to the wedding, holding her aunt's hand, watching with wide eyes as her father married Luna. After the ceremony, she tugged on Luna's dress. "Does this mean you're staying?" she asked quietly. Luna knelt down to her level. "Yes," she said. "I'm staying." Emily smiled, then hugged her tight. 2 years later, Adam and Luna sat on the couch while Emily played on the floor nearby. She was 8 now, building something with blocks, her concentration fierce. Luna leaned into Adam, her hand resting on her stomach. She was 4 months pregnant. Adam wrapped his arm around her, looking down at her with quiet contentment. Emily looked up. "Mom, how did you and Dad meet?" Luna and Adam exchanged a glance. Luna smiled. "We met because of a contract." Emily frowned. "A contract? Like for work?" Adam nodded. "Sort of. I needed a wife. Your mom needed help, so we made a deal." Emily looked confused. "Wait, so you guys didn't love each other at first?" Luna shook her head. "No, we didn't." Emily's eyes went wide. "Then how did you fall in love?" Luna looked at Adam. He smiled and took her hand. "We fell in love," Adam said, "because we stopped pretending. We stopped trying to be what we thought we should be, and just let ourselves be real." Luna squeezed his hand. "And because sometimes the best things in life start in the most unexpected ways." Emily thought about that for a moment, then went back to her blocks. Adam pulled Luna close, kissing the top of her head. "And I wouldn't change a thing." Outside, the city lights twinkled in the distance. Inside, the family sat together, warm and safe and real. Because the best love stories aren't the ones that start perfectly. They're the ones where 2 broken people find each other and choose every single day to stay.